You came up with a really good post yesterday on social media. It was about Sepulveda PCH.
Yes.
What? I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the timing was great because it was going to city council.
Well, and it's one of those things where, you know, we want input on these things. We're not receiving input, and I know I'll get grief. Oh, well, if you did this, if you did that. But the reality is, a lot of people don't come down and make comments anymore. We get a few by email, maybe a couple phone calls. So I'm like, okay, let's go directly to people.
I thought it was fun, and social media is a great interaction with people because they will comment, especially if it's something that hits close to home. The findings last night was that it's going to stay Sepulveda, right?
The decision was to keep it as Sepulveda. The name change died to a general lack of interest, it seemed.
Right, okay.
As much as there was
a lot of interest online.
A lot of interest online. But the council just, you know, a lot of people just said this wasn't a priority to them. A couple of business people came down and said it was going to affect their businesses. So at the end of the day, there wasn't some critical mass to say, there wasn't a compelling reason.
Right. So I got some of the comments here. Some of them funny, some of them truthful.
Truthful. Uh-oh.
We're going to start off with some of
it's on the internet. It must be true.
Annette LaFontaine. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Annette. Not every bit of beach culture needs to be revised. And I kind of saw that a lot throughout that. Was like, hey, it's been Sepulveda for a long time. Let's not change every single thing in the beach cities.
That was a running theme. People are going to call it whatever they're going to call it,
yeah.
Whatever they're familiar with, whatever they're comfortable with.
Right.
So does it really matter whether we change the whole name around? To some it did,
right.
To some it didn't.
Right. One of the funnier ones, like from Jeff Miller, who we had in here. Jeff's a great guy. He says, PCH, added benefit is that my There Is No Life East of Sepulveda t-shirt will be a collector's item.
Yeah, we had a few comments on that.
This is from Gary Warburton. Hopefully I didn't mess your last name up, Gary.
That's it.
That's it? All right. Regardless of the decision, there will still be little, if any, life east of Sepulveda/PCH. Another one is from Tom Dupay. Call it Elm Street and be done with it. Driving it is a nightmare.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't see that one.
Randy Ross had a really good one. We need to keep it confusing and disorient visitors as much as possible.
That's a running theme too. I'm kind of understanding of that. Yeah.
This was from Instagram, so this isn't his true name, but it was Slaytanic Steve. Isn't Skechers closing down the street?
It's not my handle, by the way.
Yeah, it's not Steve. Isn't Skechers closing down the street so it can open another headquarters? Jim Osborne, who you know well.
Yes.
Messing with Sepulveda will likely get Jan after you. And I did see Jan there last night.
Jan Dennis, yes. Who wrote a book called The History of Sepulveda. So wasn't too happy with it. She should be happy now.
Handy Fan Gary said, follow Hermosa's lead. How could that possibly go wrong?
We'll talk about that infiltration project later. Just kidding.
Chris Warshaw. I'm for change. Short-term hassle for the businesses there, but long-term better branding for a corridor that has long needed a boost.
Interesting, and you know, we do have some revitalization going on, regardless of what the name is. So, you know, there's always turnover in Sepulveda. Historically, there always will be. So it's one of those things that we are looking at the corridor as a whole and how we can incentivize certain uses over others.
All right. Matthew Beaumont wants it renamed Napolitano Drive.
That would get 0 votes, maybe 1 from my mom. Even then, she's kind of on the bubble about that. Ray
Gilman, save the name change for when the freeway goes through town.
I don't know what that means. I mean, that's one of my things. Well, do we want a highway going through town or a boulevard? So I don't know where that's coming from. The freeway's not coming to town.
Dean Carver says, there is no life east of PCH. Just doesn't do it for me.
Dean, a former neighbor, good friend. Yes.
And David Wood says, change it to say go home.
We like our visitor. Well, as a number of commenters said, though, you can tell the people who aren't from here as to how they pronounce Sepulveda. When they say Sepulveda, you know they're not from here.
Yeah, and people were even saying this, and you even said it in the commentary, was that, is this silly? Is this something we should be worried about?
Why is this a thing?
Right? Yeah. Why is this a thing? And people were hashtagging it, and it was a fun thing.
You know what I appreciate was I appreciate all the input, but I also appreciate the fact that nobody got nasty.
Right.
It didn't get negative. They could disagree without being disagreeable, and so I hope that continues.
Yeah.
Because we've got more. What do you think's to come?